Good, good.
Everybody ready? All right, Coach, you can open the statement.
Cool. Coming off a great weekend, homecoming weekend here in Jackson. Great turnout. I think we had over 30,000 fans in the vet this weekend. Great performance by our football team. Very pleased to see the things coming together as a football team, all around for us. Hats off to Pine Bluff. They came out, drove the ball down early, did some good stuff early on, but our guys just stepped up and refused to allow this team to be in the game with us for 4 quarters. Anytime you can take a 31-3 lead into the half, that's good for us as a program. So very pleased about it. Had a great time this weekend, saw some family, saw some old friends, old teammates. So go Tigers.
Coach, I remember, happy Monday.
Yeah, what's up?
I remember last year at the end of the MVSU game, you saw Coach Wade and 2 young head coaches, and we spoke about that. And I think you told them at the end of the game, keep building, because both you guys were starting off these programs and growing them. What is that relationship like, with another Mississippi guy as they now come to your home?
He's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine. Like myself, he's trying to build that program up over there, and it's he's got it coming together. Those guys. Valley is a team that plays hard. We've been watching them all morning. Some of their games this year. And, they're fighting for 4 quarters. He has it going in the right direction. So we talk maybe once, twice every other week. So he's got it going in the right direction. He just got to continue to recruit, continue to build, continue to get those guys to play hard for him.
What do you guys talk about as head coach?
Just everything, talk about sometimes other games and stuff like that, but just, talk about our teams, talk about what we see in our teams and, where we see our programs going.
Despite Valley's record, how are you just keeping your team motivated to go out there and play the full 4 quarters?
We know the end goal. We know the end goal. I told them today, we was off yesterday, but I finally got a chance to meet with the entire team today, and I told them, from my experience of playing Valley and coaching against them, they're going to fight. They're going to fight, especially anytime they get to come to the vet this weekend. There's going to be some fans in there, in-state game, a rivalry. They're going to play hard, but we just got to play our brand of football. Once we go out there and do what we do, play as a team, don't turn the ball over, tackle well, we'll be fine.
Coach, you guys are undefeated at home so far, and you guys played really good teams here. What's kind of been, being able to play, here at the vet?
Well, there was a emphasis going into the season because we didn't play well here last year, and that was just kind of shocking for me. And something that I wasn't going to tolerate as the head coach, not playing well in front of our home fans, playing well in Jackson. And these guys, it's each and every game though. No matter we're on the road, we're on or in the vet, we understand that we want to be playing in December, and that's what it's all about. Especially when you're playing conference games, you got to take care of what you can take care of and be ready each and every week.
Beyond Valley playing hard, what stands out to you the most about their team on both sides?
They got some side. They got a defensive end that pretty good player over there. Got some guys in the secondary, that played here. Bruce Mitchell is starting at corner for them. That played here. It was part of our football team here. He's playing corner over there. They got a quarterback that likes to run the ball around real well, so it'll be challenging for our defensive line to go out there and take that piece away from their offense. But again, they just a team that plays hard. They was right there in the game with Prairie View. They should have had opportunity to beat Prairie View this past weekend as well as some other games. So we just got to come out and do our thing.
After a big win, I always like to ask, what's kind of the thing that you're still working on at practice here that you saw that you want your team to continue to get better at?
Yeah, keeping them grounded. Understand any week, like we talk about Valley, hadn't won a game, but any week you can go out there and lose a football game if you, start getting the big head and, reading your own press clippings. That's what I tell them. And then it's the other stuff, you want to be healthy. We're trying to get healthy, continue to be healthy and just, continue to coach the little things and understand that, we built this team for a national title, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of talk about, your team knows the end goal. They're really focused on that. They know it's set. What are you, telling your team to motivate them? Because you've only got, a few left, undefeated in conference. So just talk about what you're telling them to make sure that they stay playing at the high level that they're playing at.
Great question. I don't think I have to tell them much because if you look after this week, the last 2 teams, and I'm talking about Alabama State and Alcorn, they beat us last year. You know, they beat us last year. You look at the Alabama State team as well. They were picked to win the SWAC. You know, so these guys are motivated. They come on Saturdays, they turn to something else. You know, they know how to flip that switch and go, you know, take care of business. But anytime you got those last 2 games that we'll be seeing after this Valley opponent, the teams that beat you, you know, in the vet, Alabama State beat us for our homecoming, Alcorn beat us here at home as well. We're excited about it. You know, we don't want to look over Valley, but we are looking down the, you know, down the barrel at that, those 2 next week and the week after that.
I know Kurt Ford, offensive line, kind of got banged up in that first. I mean, kind of got banged up in the game on Saturday. Is he?
He fine.
Okay.
He fine. No, you know, Kurt, Blue, Evan, all those guys play with a different chip out there. And I kept telling him, like, man, he was cramping. You know, because of all the extra stuff he was doing, like I said. But we want him to play with that edge. You know, as old linemen, it's a lot going on in those trenches that I don't want to be a part of. You know, and they take a lot of pride of being in there, you know, running the football the way we ran. I think we had close to about 230, 240 rushing or something like that. They've been doing that every week. But, you know, I just tell them to keep it grounded. You know, we lost Blue in that game. He got kicked out of that game because of the extra stuff. So just keep it grounded because they got to understand we need everybody. You know, we need everybody going forward. But Kurt is fine. Kurt played more football than me, so he'll be okay.
Coach, we looked at the stat sheet last game and past week, but there's no punts at all.
Man, Matt mad at me.
How does that happen, and what do you make of that? That, you know, you're scoring or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, it's the offensive staff putting these plans together. You know, the things we're putting together as an offense. But, you know, Matt, you got an All-American punter that in the last 3-4 weeks only punted 2 or 3 times, you know, so I told him I hate it for him, but that's a good thing for our team. You know, that's a great thing for our team. So I also told him we're not trying to get you out there. You know, if we're continuing that way, we're doing some good stuff, you know, offensively.
I believe Fabian, Kobe are all still out.
Rico.
And Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And Taekwon Henderson.
And it's Taekwon in general.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there any timetable for the 3 that have been out for a while?
Not right now. I know that, you know, Rico and Fabo are done for the season. They're done for the season. We are still evaluating Kobe and Taekwon to be out for the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the injury that Taekwon picked up?
It's a situation with his knee.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened this past game?
Yes. Not this game, last weekend.
Oh, last weekend.
Yeah, he didn't play this past weekend.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But even in those moments, I feel like I ask about this guy once in a while, but like, what do you see in Isaiah Spencer? Because it seems like every time this may be the 3rd time I've asked about that in the past 2 years, but every time I feel like it looks like he's taking on a bigger role and he's appearing on the stat sheet a lot. So.
I mean, he has no choice. You just talked about 4 guys that are out, you know, that we don't have, you know, in that offensive unit. But you could just plug and play him anywhere. You know, he's been playing in the slot for us, but this weekend he had to play at the Z, and that's something new for him. He hadn't played the Z since last year, but he takes on the challenge. You know, he takes on the challenge. He's a young receiver, but they threw the ball around well in high school, so this is something that he gets and that he wants. You know, he accepts the responsibility. It's just our job to try to scheme it up, not to make things too difficult for him because he is at another position right now, and just allow him to go out there and make plays.
Coach, how did it feel to get the win after the extension? I know that was something you kind of was worried about coming into the season.
No doubt.
Like, how did it feel to get a big win like that after getting the extension?
I just wanted to win homecoming. You know, I just really wanted to win homecoming. I remember that feeling last year when we lost to Alabama State for homecoming. I wasn't right for weeks, you know, and I just really wanted to win the game. But about the extension, it's a blessing. You know, it's a blessing. It's a weight off my shoulders to know, you know, for the next, 4 years, you know, family got some security. And then just to know that your AD Robinson, our president, Dr. Thompson, think enough of you to extend you that long. So just to weight off my shoulders, and now we can continue to build this thing up here.
Can you talk a little bit about, along with Spencer, that you kind of mentioned, but with Marvin and Janaelon and all these guys kind of, you know, and Fortilli and all these guys kind of stepping up and doing their roles with, you know, a lot of the wide receiver core kind of out?
Yeah, I was messing with Rico and Fabo about that the other day. It's going to be hard when y'all get back to get your spots back. You know, with these young guys stepping up and playing the way that they can, the type of football they're playing, you know, the future looks real bright. You know, we'll add some other pieces to it, but you get Rico back, you get Fabo back, you know, you see what Jonas is doing. Dupree, it was just, sooner or later it was going to happen, and we knew that, you know. It's always with those junior college guys, they take some time to understand and get the rhythm of what's going on in FBS football FCS football, excuse me. But right now he's separating himself. But those guys got to play. You know, Richard Mays was out there. He had a catch the other day. It's just we got a lot of depth at that position, and you know, a lot of guys stepping up. So I'm really, after the season, looking forward to all these guys coming back and competing in the spring.
And you expect Fabian and Rico to
Oh yeah,
come back?
yeah, they'll get their medicals. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
Good. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Shoot them all.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm blessed.
Yes.
All right, we'll open this up for questions.
All right, Coach, you know your defense holding UAPB to 3 points. Just talk about the performance that they had this week.
Man, I think hats off to the front. You know, we took a different approach this week. Want to see could we stop the run without the DBs so the DBs can focus on number 11, obvious. And I thought they did a good job coming out, striking blockers, playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and it allowed us to do some things on the back end that we haven't done this year.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the sacks that your team was able to get. A lot of pressure on the quarterback seems to be a big thing, including August had a career high in sacks this past game. What do you see is working well there with just the line, creating holes, letting your linebackers get through, things like that?
That's the philosophy. You know, day one of being promoted to the DC, you know, I wanted to do a study of what we thought would make a great defense to win games, and it came down to the negative plays as far as TFLs and sacks. So we put a lot of emphasis on that. And, you know, the front just good this year. You know, we knew that coming in, that the strength was going to be the front. So a little bit of just having dudes at that position mixed with the philosophy.
And Coach, I believe it's been 3 straight games. I know they only scored a field goal, but 3 straight games that you guys haven't allowed a point in the second half. You know, what's kind of been that, you know, key factor to, you know, limit teams, you know, from producing later on in games?
Trying to stay focused. You know, I thought the deal, we couldn't finish games at first. You know, I think it just shows that the kids started to get mature. They're starting to get used to winning, regardless of what the scope may say. We got to continue to work, and they're starting to answer the bell.
And does that come from just preparation or practice or a mentality thing, or what does that kind of
Growth. You know, that's something that we try to put emphasis on since day one, just finishing your opponents off. Early in the season, it wasn't getting done, so you're starting to see it on the back end of the schedule that the guys starting to lock in and finish games.
Got Valley this week. You know, they haven't won a game this season, but still, what kind of sticks out about that team?
Man, the quarterback have 115 carries. He's the leading rusher. So they're going to keep the ball in their quarterback hand on the ground. And we got to do a good job stopping the run. You know, they want to run the football, especially with their quarterback.
What do you talk with the team about after the don't give up a touchdown in a whole game?
That's the expectation. It was nothing needed to be said. That's what we've been trying to get all year. And they just finally got it done. But it's on to the next one.
Coach, how do you maintain that throughout? Because, you know, only a few games left. How do you make sure the defense continues to maintain that?
Continue to preach the day one goals. Continue, you know, each week, the beginning of each week, continue to pull up the goal sheets, where we are when it relates to FCS, SWACs, all the things we said we wanted to do as far as being great. So they get a chance to see that and they continue to chase hunger. You know, we talked about last week being in the top 15 in TFL and sacks, and they saw that. I'm like, it's time to take the next step. You know, when this thing in, we want to be top 3 in all of it. And so they're excited, so they continue to chase it.
Coach, you said the defensive line is just pretty strong up front. Where would you say you've seen the most growth on the defensive side of the ball thus far?
It's the linebackers. You know, we had a lot of returners coming from last year's team to this year up front. I think we lost 1 guy last year, so a lot of guys returning back. So you expect that group, older group, to go out and do what they're supposed to do. Second year in the system, but the growth has to be from that linebacker room. 2 new linebackers in the mix, and they're getting it done. They're getting us lined up. They understand what we want as a coach, as a coaching staff, and what's the game plan. They're getting guys in the right call.
Obviously, pressure has been really good towards the quarterback. But can you talk about the defensive back group and how they've, you know, managed, you know, especially these past 3 games?
Man, you know, that's my baby. That's my group, and you know, we got a lot of heat early about just the pass defense, but I kept, keeping them grounded. It's about the philosophy. In order to have success at stopping the run TFL, it's blitzing and we on the edge. We're doing a lot of one-on-ones. But I think it's 2 games where the philosophy switched that we had to stop the pass. That was Grambling and the last game. And them 2 games, when I asked them to stop the pass, they did that. So I think it's more about the philosophy and the game plan and what we're trying to get accomplished that week to win the football game.
Coach, I got one for you before we get. You moved Robert McDaniel to the cornerback position. I know we talked about that. Do you expect to play more at the nickel, or are we going to see more at the cornerback?
Man, he played too many snaps. He didn't come off the field. When he was in that corner, we put him at nickel. And when he wanted at nickel, we put him back at corner. It's something that we continue to evaluate right now. He give us another upside, being with his length and physicality. And he played it all last year. He played corner all last year. So we still evaluating that.
Everybody good? All right.
Thank you, Coach, as always.
Yes, sir.